My name is Caroline. I'm 38 years old, and I want to tell you about the night I stopped pretending my mother was someone she wasn't. My daughter Lily is 12 now. She's quiet the way deep water is quiet. Calm on top, full of everything underneath. She draws in every spare moment, little notebooks stacked in her room like a paper library. Faces, hands, birds with impossible wings. She's been drawing since she could hold a crayon. Her father left when she was 3. No dramatic exit, no final argument, just a text one morning that said he needed space, and then silence. For a long time, the silence felt louder than anything he'd ever said out loud. I didn't fall apart. I didn't have time to. I had a 3-year-old who needed breakfast, and a job that started at 8 a.m., and a mother who lived 20 minutes away who said, "Come over whenever you need. We're family." So I leaned on her. More than I should have, maybe. My mother watched Lily on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She took her to the park. She taught her how to braid hair. She let her help bake cookies, even though Lily always got flour on the ceiling somehow. For years it felt real, like something solid I could hold on to. Lily called her grandma from the very beginning. Never asked whether she was supposed to. Just decided. The way children decide things. Completely and without explanation. I thought my mother felt the same way. I was wrong. The first crack appeared when Lily was 8. My mother had remarried. A quiet man named Gerald, who brought her flowers and read thick paperback novels and never caused any trouble. He had 2 adult children from a previous marriage. His daughter Patricia had a little girl named Grace. 6 years old, bright red hair, the kind of laugh that made everyone in a room turn and smile. The moment Grace arrived at Christmas, something shifted. I watched my mother's face change, the way it softened when Grace ran toward her. The way she bent down and opened her arms wide, wider than I remembered her opening them for Lily. The way she said, "There she is, my girl." Lily was standing right next to me. I felt her hand tighten around mine. She didn't say anything. She just watched. That night, when I tucked her in, she asked me very quietly, "Mom, is Grandma Grace's grandma now?" "She's your grandma," I said carefully. "Grace is just spending Christmas with us." "But she called her my girl." I didn't have a good answer, so I kissed her forehead and turned off the light. Over the next year, Grace came to more events. Birthday lunches, Easter, Gerald's retirement party, and every time I watched my mother move through the room with Grace on her hip or holding her hand, and Lily walking a few steps behind, a little quieter each time. My mother never said anything cruel. She never told Lily to move or pushed her aside. She was just turned, like a sunflower that had found a new light source and slowly, without even noticing, stopped facing the old one. Lily started spending less time drawing people, more time drawing birds. I should have said something sooner, but I kept telling myself I was being oversensitive, that my mother loved Lily, that everything was fine. Then came the night of the school art show. Lily had been selected, out of 200 students, to display 3 pieces in the district youth art showcase. She'd been working on them for months. She barely slept the last 2 weeks before the show. She ironed her dress herself. I invited my mother 3 weeks in advance. She said, of course. I wouldn't miss it. The night of the showcase, I texted her at 5:45 asking where she was. The event started at 6. She replied at 6:22. "Sorry, sweetheart. Grace wasn't feeling well, and Patricia needed someone to stay with her." "You understand? Give Lily a kiss from me." I stared at my phone for a long time. Then I put it in my pocket, walked to where Lily was standing next to her artwork, and I took her picture 50 times. I told her every piece was extraordinary, which was true. I held her hand when her teacher said her watercolor technique was beyond her years. I watched her face light up when a stranger stopped and said, "Did you paint this? I love it." On the way home, Lily was quiet. Did Grandma come? She finally asked. She couldn't make it tonight, I said. Grace was sick. Lily nodded, looked out of the window. Then, almost to herself, Grace is always sick when I have something. I didn't argue, because she wasn't wrong. I called my mother the next morning. I kept my voice steady. Mom, I need to tell you something. Lily noticed you weren't there. I know, and I feel terrible. But Patricia really needed... I'm not calling about Patricia. I'm calling because Lily has started to understand that she's second, and I can't let that continue. A pause. Caroline, you're being dramatic. I love Lily. I know you do, but love and attention are different things. Lily is 12. She pays attention. She remembers. Another pause. What do you want me to do? I can't control when children get sick. I want you to show up, I said. That's all. Just show up. She said she would try. She said it in that voice she uses when she's agreed to something she has no intention of doing. I've known that voice since I was 9 years old. I hoped I was wrong. I wasn't. 6 weeks later, I got a phone call from Lily's school. Lily had forgotten her lunch and given her name and phone number to someone from the office to pass along to her emergency contacts. Standard procedure, except when the school called the list, my mother was listed as the second emergency contact. The school had reached her and asked her to bring Lily's lunch. My mother told them she was busy. Fine. People are busy. I don't expect miracles. But the part that made my hands go cold came from Lily herself, that evening, when she mentioned it casually while setting the table. Grandma called me back, by the way. What do you mean? I asked. The school gave her my direct number. You know, the one you set up for me last year. She called it. But she wasn't calling to say she was coming. She was calling because she wanted to give my number to Patricia. I turned around slowly. What? She said Patricia's daughter, Grace, wanted a big girl pen pal, and she thought I'd be perfect. She said she already gave Grace my number. Lily shrugged, the way kids shrug when they're pretending something doesn't hurt. She didn't even ask. I set down the dish I was holding, very carefully. She gave your personal number to someone without asking you? It's Grace, Lily said, like that made it fine. Lily, that's your number. No one should share it without your permission. Lily looked at me. Mom, it's okay. It wasn't okay. It wasn't okay because it was Lily's number, not a public record. It wasn't okay because she hadn't asked. And it wasn't okay because underneath the practical violation was something else. The confirmation of what Lily had been quietly absorbing for 4 years. That she was useful to Grandma, not treasured by her. That she existed in relation to what she could offer Grace, not for who she was. I called my mother that night after Lily went to bed. I kept my voice level, completely level. Mom, you gave Lily's personal phone number to Patricia without asking Lily or me. Oh, for heaven's sake, Caroline. I need you to explain why you thought that was appropriate. Silence. It's just Grace wanting a pen pal. It's harmless. It's not about whether it's harmless. It's about asking. Lily is 12. Her phone number is private. You should have called me. You're making a mountain out of nothing. I'm making a boundary, I said. There's a difference. A longer silence. Then my mother said, and I want to be very precise about the words, because I've replayed them many times since. Caroline, I just want to be honest with you. Grace is Gerald's family. She's blood. Lily is... she's wonderful, but she's not really ours in the same way. I thought connecting them might be good for Lily. Give her a connection. I didn't say anything for a moment. She's not really ours. You know what I mean. I know exactly what you mean, I said. I just needed to hear you say it. I hung up. Not dramatically. Just ended the call. And then I sat at the kitchen table for a very long time. I thought about every Christmas, Every hug, every "we're family." I thought about Lily at 8 years old, standing next to me at Christmas, watching my mother carry Grace across the room. I thought about her question. Is Grandma Grace's grandma now? I told her she was still Lily's grandma. I'd been wrong. Not because my mother didn't feel something for Lily. Maybe she did. But love that makes exceptions isn't the kind of love a 12-year-old should be shaped by. I made 2 calls. The first was to my therapist. I know that doesn't sound dramatic, but she was the person who helped me untangle what I owed my mother from what I owed my daughter. That call lasted an hour and a half. At the end of it, I knew what I needed to do. The second was to my mother's sister, my Aunt Frances, who had known our family for 60 years and who had once quietly told me, "Your mother has always needed someone to prefer." I called Aunt Frances not for advice. I called to tell her what had happened because she was the only person in our family who would understand both the depth of the wound and why I couldn't pretend it hadn't happened. She listened. She didn't try to defend my mother. She said, "You're doing the right thing." That was enough. The next morning, I sat with Lily at breakfast and I told her the truth. Not all of it, just enough. "Grandma and I have been having some disagreements about boundaries," I said. "We're going to be taking some space from seeing her for a while." Lily looked at her cereal. "Because of me?" "Because of decisions she made," I said carefully. "Not because of you." She was quiet for a long time. Then, "Is it because of the number thing?" "Partly." Another long pause. "Mom," she said, "I kind of knew, for a while, that I was different from Grace to her." I looked at her. "I know, sweetheart. It's okay. I mean, it hurts, but it's okay." She looked up at me. "She's still my grandma in my head, even if I don't see her." I didn't trust myself to speak for a moment. "You're allowed to feel both things," I said finally. "Missing someone and knowing they let you down. Both things can be true at the same time." She nodded like she'd already figured that out. My mother called 4 times in the following week. I let the first 3 go to voicemail. The messages went from confused to defensive to something approaching sorry, but not quite landing there. The 4th time, I answered. "Caroline," she said, "this is out of proportion." "Mom," I said, "I'm not angry at you. I'm protecting Lily." "From what? I haven't done anything to her." "She came second," I said, "for years. She noticed. That's what I'm protecting her from. Not from one mistake, but from the accumulation of being second." Silence. "If you want a relationship with Lily in the future," I said, "it's going to have to look different. You can't share her information without asking. You can't skip her milestones for Grace. And you can't tell me, or imply to her, that she's not really family." "I never told her that." "You told me," I said. "She doesn't know that, but she felt it. Children always feel it." My mother was quiet for a long time. "I'll try," she said finally, quieter than before. "Okay," I said. "We haven't seen her since that conversation. It's been 3 months. Lily has asked twice if she'll see Grandma again. I've said, eventually, when things are clearer. She accepted that. She's 12. She's wiser than I was at 20. Last week, Lily's art teacher told me Lily had submitted a piece to a statewide youth competition. A watercolor of 2 hands, one large, one small, holding onto a single red thread. The teacher said the judges called it quietly devastating. I don't know if they'll pick it, but I know what it means. And I know that whatever Lily builds next, whoever she becomes, whatever she creates, it will be on a foundation of knowing her worth. Not because the world handed it to her, because I made sure no one took it. That's the only thing I've ever been certain about. If you stayed to the end, thank you. If this story felt familiar, even in small ways, you're not alone. Leave your location in the comments. I want to know where you're watching from. And if someone in your life needs to hear this today, share it. Because protecting the people we love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's 2 phone calls and a very quiet breakfast conversation. Take care of yourselves and take care of your kids.